what I have learned from pivoting the Compassion Refuel Podcast, I think will help you if you're feeling stuck. And I wanted to just share with you my journey. So as many of you know, when I started, this podcast was called the Redemptive Brilliance Podcast. And after some prayer and thought, I just didn't quite feel settled. I knew what God was calling me to do, but I still was kind of trying to put my own meaning on it. So as God and I talked more and more, what came out of it was the Compassion Refuel Podcast. Because I knew that there's many out there like me that we are wired with big hearts. And we give. Often at the expense of our own health. So then I was focusing primarily on hospice and palliative care, women who work in that field, Christian women that work in that field, because that's one of my areas of passion. But again, since that time, God has been speaking into my heart to say, Phyllis, I didn't tell you that those were they're very important. And I've had you work in that field, but I have called you to minister broader to Christian women who He has wired. He has created us with big hearts for people in need. So thus, I am pivoting the Compassion Refuel Podcast to be broader, and it is targeted at Christian women who are wired with real big hearts, compassionate hearts, who want to help others, encourage others, and to help you thrive, lead, love, and serve while avoiding burnout. So how did I go about feeling comfortable enough to pivot? Because it's so scary, right? It's scary to walk by faith. Let's just be honest. Walking by faith is not always easy. And we're human. So we do worry. We're prone to worry about what happens if it doesn't work, or what are people going to say because I'm changing, I'm pivoting again. And are they going to think that I don't have my focus, or I don't quite know what I'm doing? So I'm going to tell you 3 lessons that I learned. First is to give yourself deep acceptance. Allow yourself to accept how you're wired. I'm wired with a big heart. From as long as I can remember, I've wanted to help people. I've wanted to help those in need. I wanted to make sure that everyone had the opportunities that I've had. And I wanted everyone to believe that they could reach their dreams. I'll let you in on a secret. When I was growing up, I used to, my heart would just go out to everything and everybody. Okay, don't laugh, don't hate. I used to, okay, I'm going to say it, collect snails. Okay, I said it. There are 10 years between my brother and I. And so when he was off in college, I was still in, elementary school at that time. And so I developed quite an imagination. So among all the different activities I would do, from riding my bike around the neighborhood to having my imaginary roller skating show, right? Back then we roller skated. I would collect things, okay? And so I would collect snails, I had hamsters, I had rabbits, you name it. Like I said, don't hate, okay? And I would take care of them. So over time, life will make you forget that, and you wonder why you find yourself in a certain situations, right? And I had to finally just embrace myself that I love to help people. Even my pets, I tend to adopt. I adopt dogs that need someone to love them because they have a medical problem or they have some other, disability, and I want to make sure to give them the opportunity. So I just had to embrace that's who I am. That's who God has wired me to be. I care about people. I want to help. So you got to embrace yourself. It's okay. God has wired you with a big heart, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Number 2, after embracing, accepting who you are, right? So let me go back. First, you're going to just accept who you are, who God has created you to be. So you accept it. Then number 2 is you embrace who you are. Love who you are. You will hear me over and over talking about putting your oxygen on first. And, a lot of times we make the joke, the flight attendants will say, put your oxygen on. But it's so important that you do put your oxygen on first. Because how can you serve others if you don't take care of yourself? Often we as Christian women, we're real good. We're real good on knowing that we are called to help others, make others feel better, to help those in need. And we try to make their situation better. But we don't invest in embracing ourselves and taking care of ourselves by putting on our oxygen first. Because just like in a plane, right? If you spend up all your energy trying to help those next to you, go to the other people to put their oxygen on, in the meantime, you're losing oxygen. You're not going to make it. But if you stop and take the couple minutes it takes to put your oxygen on, then you are able to breathe, you are able to go further, and you can help more people. But number 1, by starting to take care of yourself. So you have to embrace yourself. And sis, we have to take off this stigma that to be compassionate with the heart of Christ means that we're supposed to be a martyr. Okay? I tell people all the time, there was once a time I thought, I was like the definition of trying to be a martyr. But as I always say, trying to be the martyr it's underrated, and it's really not appreciated. Okay, I'm just telling you. And I always remind myself, I look at my hands, I'm like, I don't see any nail marks in my hands. I don't see any nail marks in my feet. I don't see any thorn marks around my head. Okay? There's only one Jesus. We are to follow in his steps in the life that he's modeled, but we're human, and that's okay. Okay? We're not meant to be perfect. All right? So we need to be able to embrace ourselves. And along with embracing ourselves is giving ourselves permission to change, permission to pivot. And I will tell you, I was one of those people that, underneath it all, let's just be real. I was a perfectionist. I was a control freak because life around me, trying to make it through over the years, be it going through school at the time that I did, some of the goals that I set, it could be crazy. It could be very unpredictable. And so what do? We try to create an environment of control around us. And that is a setup. It's a setup, sis. It's not sustainable. It's just not sustainable. So we have to give ourselves permission. And really, life is a journey. It's a growing process. It's not a place of arrival, okay? You kind of could think about it as a long plane ride where you have some layovers and some stops along the way, or a journey where you may rest in one place for a little while and you get going and you get refreshed and you move on. But life is in perpetual motion. And that's what makes it so awesome, that you have the opportunity to keep growing. So I truly do feel, and I'm going to say something really provocative, or, some may not agree with me, but being stuck, feeling stuck is a state of mind. Yes, there are people who will try to trap us. Let's be real. There's some haters, and there's some people out there that, because of their own issues, when there's someone that's wired with a big heart, that radiates that life of Jesus's love, his heart, and you want to help people, you want to bring joy to people, there are going to be those haters out there who are going to try to rain on your parade or something else on your parade. So just know that. But that's their problem. That's not your problem. So know that you have the ability, you have the permission to pivot, because it's not about what other people think. It's about what God thinks. It's that feeling of peace that comes along when you feel that you're doing what God has called you to do versus trying to put yourself in a box that someone else has created for us, or maybe we've created for ourselves because it feels like a safe place. So if you are feeling stuck, remember what I said. Being stuck is a state of mind. It's a choice. So you first have to accept who you are, where you're at. Embrace who you are and whose you are. And give yourself permission to pivot. And you will be well on your way to getting unstuck. I thank you so much for joining me today. I would greatly appreciate if you would just take 30 seconds to leave a review on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on this YouTube channel. We're now on Amazon Music and Audible. I would greatly appreciate it. And please don't forget to subscribe. Share this, tag someone, share it with someone else who could really benefit. Let's do life together. Us women who are wired with big hearts, so that we can continue to do the work, to lead, to serve, to love, while we thrive and avoid burnout. I can't wait to see you back here for the Compassion Refuel Podcast. Until next time, take care, be blessed, be safe. See you soon. Bye.